Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Fun with Flags. I am 123 Shades of Geek, uh, coming here to teach you how to count, just like the good old count behind me, or rather behind both of our pictures. Here's Soda. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing all right, man. This is gonna be first I learn how to letters. Now I'm gonna learn the numbers.
Cool. And we're going to learn numbers in two different languages, which I cannot guarantee, but I probably will flub at least several of these. But
All good.
let's just hope for the best. So this was just gonna be an interesting one. I'm just gonna count. This should be easy, right? This should be very simple. So I will be teaching you the pronunciation of several numbers, most numbers I should a lot of numbers in Hebrew and Arabic, and also certain rules of association between different numbers. That doesn't make much sense now, but it'll make much more sense once we actually start talking about them. So I see you grabbed yourself a whiteboard. You can write it down if you like,
Just in case.
but
Well, something tells me you're gonna be quizzing me.
I actually haven't even thought of that. Thank you for giving me that idea.
Damn it!
But yeah, we'll see. We will see. So, what would you say is the first number we're going to be discussing today?
Probably the letter 0. Number 0.
Dang it! I thought you would fall for that. Yes, it is 0. Which, of course, we're going to cover the Hebrew ones first, and the pronunciation of 0 is Efes,
FS.
like the beer.
There's a beer called FS.
Yeah, it's a Turkish brand.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
I thought you know what? I actually thought you would have. That's weird. Okay, so Efes is the first one, and you. Now that I think about it, you really don't need to write it down because we're not really gonna come back to that. We're not gonna. We're not. There really is no other.
I'm just mostly writing it down for pronunciation's sake. So I have it.
You could do that, but with some of these other ones, you might want to consider writing them down because they do come back in other forms.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're on to the actual numerical value numbers, the ones that actually matter in math.
Well, the zeros that matter in math is usually at the end of something.
I mean, it reduces everything to 0.
That's if you multiply it by 0.
True. Yeah. Well, you know what? I was told there would be no math.
Yeah. Fuck. Okay.
Okay, so we're going off to number 1, which is Echad.
Ehad. Okay.
Let me hear that again.
Ehad.
Okay, close, very close enough.
The only thing I can't do is the phlegm.
The what?
Say ehad.
Echad.
I can't do the heh when I'm saying the word.
But I do believe it is that type of sound does exist in the French language, doesn't it?
A little bit. That's more I think Spanish. But that's because they got the R's, the rolling of the R's. In French Canada, anyways, there is nothing like that. At least that's what I can recall.
Okay.
I can't speak for France, but I know in French Canada, I'm not recalling anything.
Okay. So thankfully for you, there aren't a lot of numbers with that particular sound. But moving on to number 2, which is Stein.
Stein.
Stein. Like Stein, but with an M.
Almost like Stup, but spelled differently.
I mean, so yeah, for clarification, I spelled it in English the easiest way it is for me to explain how it's meant to pronounce. Maybe someone can spell it better than I did, but that is the way I thought would be the easiest to pronounce.
It works for me.
Cool. Stein. Moving on to the number 3, shalosh.
Oh,
So it's like shalom, but with a sh at the end.
that's what happens when you get a little too fashnicket. Shalosh.
If you like.
Two of
And
my
I-
favorite words,
I-
two of my favorite Yiddish words, shtuk and fashnicket.
All right. If,
One
if
I
those
learned
are your
from
favorite,
Brooks, the other I learned from Aerosmith.
good for you. So number 4, arba.
So it's so a heavy emphasis on the R then. Arba.
Uh, not
Arba.
it's not that important, but it's arba.
Okay, Arba.
Yeah, like abra cadabra, but replace but it's arba instead of
Yeah.
abra. Hocus pocus.
This has been the only one
abracadabra.
I've been able to pronounce it right off the bat. Arba.
Okay. Hocus pocus. Abracadabra. Tse ahotza mispar arba.
Poof.
Only a few people would get that joke. Okay, so number 5,
Mom.
chamish. You good with chamish?
Hamish. Similar to Hamish.
Yeah, it does. This might actually be the easiest one for you.
Okay.
And number 6,
Shish.
shish.
I'd say so. One letter off from sheesh.
Sheesh. Okay, so the number 7. Now you'll notice with 6 and 7 that they kind of resemble their English counterparts. Sheva.
Oh, okay.
Ma sheva, ma kama.
Let me guess. 8 is similar to the pronunciation of 8.
I knew you were going to fall for that, and you guessed incorrectly.
Well, based on what you just said.
I said 6. I said 4, 6, and 7.
Oh,
Rewind the tape and listen to what I said.
apologies. I misheard it as 6 and 7 on. Sorry, I misheard you.
So, to be honest, these two could not be more different. So, now the number 8, shmone.
Shmoney.
Better known as
Money, I got money.
When is that in? What season
What?
is that?
I told you last time. I didn't know. I don't remember the seasons. I just
Okay, it was just double checking, so I was wondering if
it's,
it was
it's one of the earlier
so it will be on the set that I got then. Okay.
probably, yeah. Before in the episodes before the show went to shit.
Which is hilarious that they only released them as a set for the shows that before it went to shit. I find that hilarious.
Yeah. The good episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, no joke, folks. I actually bought the first 5 seasons for like $20 at Walmart, Canadian.
Cool. Wait, so the first 5 seasons are 100 episodes?
Yeah.
All right. I never paid any attention to
I
how many
looked it
seasons.
up when I got home to make sure.
All right, cool. I gotta rewatch all those seasons again. Okay, so number 9, Teisha.
Tasha, okay.
Teisha.
I gotta say, what I'm getting curious, what I'm looking forward to is when you start getting into 60s and 70s, because I want to hear if it's a similar convention to how it is in French, and I will tell you the French version.
From what you told me already, it's not. And you know what? Those areas are actually very, very simple. Way simpler than the teens. But
Okay.
speaking of which, the number 10, Esser.
Esther.
Yep. Like Esther, but without the T.
Without the th, because it's a TH in English.
In English.
T-H-E-R.
Okay. So now we learn how to count to 10 from 0. Now we get to the teens. Now, you know how in English,
Yeah.
it took 2 numbers before the people who wrote those numbers finally got the shtick.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, totally.
They started with 11 and 12, and then they just realized that all they really needed to do was just add the word teen to
Yeah.
everything else, and everything they would be fine. But for some reason, the 11 and 12 survived the way they are.
So basically, what you're I'm getting is it'll be like Ehad team or whatever the equivalent is.
No, we actually, for the teens, we did not go that route. We actually got it right off the bat. We just realized. Actually, no, that is what you're saying. So we basically realized that all we needed to do is just add the teen equivalent from the get go.
Smart.
Yeah, and so we have Echad Esre.
So Esre is teen.
Yeah, which is derived from Eser.
Oh.
And so we have Echad Esre, Shtaim Esre, Shlosh Esre,
Arba Esre,
Arba Esre,
Hamesh Esre,
Chamesh Esre,
Shesh Esre,
Shesh Esre,
Sheva Esre,
close, Shva Esre.
Shva. Okay. Why did it change?
It's easier to pronounce, as you very clearly illustrated with your attempt.
True. Hey, I'm getting it. 8 would be Shmone Esre.
Shmone Esre.
9 would be Tesha Esre.
Close. Just like 17, it's Sha Esre.
Okay.
Now, could you guess from these examples what 20 would be like?
Oh God. Would it follow the same convention?
What convention would that be, sir?
Well, I'm assuming with the word escalate in there somewhere, but probably not. No, you're gonna have to lead me on this one. I might be able to figure it out for the rest, but you're gonna have to lead me on this one.
Okay, so you were half right. The word esre does play a part in this.
Okay. All right. So what is 20 then?
Oh, I thought you were aiming for a guess. Sorry.
Oh no, sorry.
Sorry, my mouse got stuck. It does that from time to time. So 20 is Esrim.
Oh.
Which, here's another important thing that we're going to learn today, is im is basically a plural pronoun for multiples of something. So basically, it's 2 tens, which the singular of a 10 is the plural of a 10 is 3.
So it's probably, so when it's 30, is it going to be like a triplicate of 10 then?
No.
Okay.
So following onwards from 20, we basically follow the same rules of association between numbers that the English side has, but with a twist. So we don't basically say 21, 22, 23.
Mm-hmm.
We say 20 and 1, 20 and 2, 20 and 3, which sounds like
is also in French.
Give us an example.
So, okay, so where I'm going to do the 20. So 20 is 20. 21 is 21. A 1 is plus 1.
Plus 1, okay.
Plus 1.
Okay, so we use end 1. And we get 21, 22. I misspelled that. Please
I think
ignore
you know that as well. 23.
23,
Yeah.
24, 25, and so on and so forth.
So 23, and so the next would be whatever 30. Okay. So is going to be in there no matter what.
It's not the, it's they.
They. Okay, I said the, but yeah. Okay, they.
Yeah. It's not 20 the 1. It's 20 and 1. 20 echad. Ve is basically end, and you'll notice that in the English version that I put, it's technically 3 words, but in the Hebrew version, it's 2 words because the ve, or rather the Hebrew equivalent of end, is just the letter vav.
Yep.
connecting one word to the other. But I felt like it would be simpler to put it as a separate word for
Oh,
pronunciation's
totally.
sake. And also, you'll be surprised, ve is also end in Turkish, where it is a separate word altogether.
Interesting.
Okay, so remember I mentioned earlier that for the teens, we basically had it figured out from the start,
Yeah.
unlike the English version where they struggled a little bit with 11, 12, and then moved on to the teens.
Yeah.
So
Same
yeah,
thing happened to the 30s.
yeah, we pretty much fucked it up in the tens and 20s, and then we finally got the shtick properly.
Gotcha.
So starting from 30, we just started adding the im suffix to the regular
So it would be
pronunciation of the
shaloshim.
word.
So 30 is shaloshim then, based on that.
Close. It's shloshim.
Shloshim. Okay.
Shloshim, and then of course shloshim vechad, shloshim v'shtayim, and
Yeah.
onwards.
So then
And
40 would be arbin?
arba'im.
Ah, fuck.
Now,
God damn
arba
it.
is pretty complicated.
Yeah.
You asked me if the emphasis was on the R. It's actually on the end A, which is the letter Ein, as opposed to the letter Aleph.
Gotcha.
And moving on, we have, of course, Chamishim.
Oh, I actually got that.
Cool.
So 6 would be either Shashim or Sheen.
Shishim.
The fuck. Shishim. 70 would be Shevim.
So close. It's Shivim. אבל כתוב 70.
Okay. 80 is gonna sound hilarious. It's either Shmim or Shmumim.
It's actually none of the above.
That's the one where I'm like, what is it?
Shmonim.
Shmonim. Okay. 90 would be Sha'im.
Tishim.
Tishim. Fuck. Okay. And then 100 would be Esrim or Esim.
No, because that's 20. Esrim.
What's 100 then?
Yeah, we already covered Esrim. So from 100 on, we enter a new realm of naming for these things. Mea.
Oh.
Ba'al mea or ba'al dea. And again, now we move into another realm where I kind of have to explain the rules of association between certain numbers and each other, because if we're going into the realm of 101, 102, 103, it basically follows suit the same way that it just did with the decade numbers of 20 and 1, 20 and 2, 20 and 3, and with the 100, we also have the. It sounded like you said something, but you were.
I said 101, 102.
Yeah, 101, 102. We have 101, 102, 103.
104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, and 110.
Yes, we have 110 as the 10. And of course, after that, it's 111, 112, 113, and so on and so forth, until you get to the 20s.
Oh?
Because once you get into the 20s realm, we have just 120 120 without the ve.
Makes sense. Okay. Good.
Yeah. And when you start to adding new numbers onto the 20s or onwards, you get 121. In Hebrew, we get 121. 21, 121, 122, 131, 132.
And then it would follow the same with the 20s. Or with the 30s, sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was illustrating there. So, following once again this logic, we get into the 200 realm of Mataim. We get 100 Mea, 200 Mataim. Once again, adding the im suffix into it, indicating that it's a multiple of something, or in this case, a plural.
Cool.
Are you writing it down, or are you?
I am. Yeah, I fucked up, so I'm just redoing it.
Okay. So once again, just like with the decades where we kind of fucked up the first two, we also did the same thing for the hundreds, meaning that for 100 is mea, and 100 and 200 is matayim. From 300 onwards, we started getting it right, where we just said, basically did follow the suit of the 300, 400, and so on and so forth. We have shlosh meot.
Shlosh meot.
Yeah. shlosh meot, arba meot, chamesh meot, shesh meot, shva meot. This is kind of the only
Shmone meot.
Shmone meot, yes.
Tesha meot.
Sha meot.
Sha meot, sorry. And then Eser meot. Eser meot.
No, because once again, it's a different name altogether for the 1,000.
Cool.
Do you want to move on to 1,000, or are you writing something down?
No, move on to 1,000. Yeah, I'm running out of room, so.
Yeah, well, whatever. So 1,000 is elif, not elf, not alf, elif.
Elephant.
Elephant. Now, in an effort to simplify things, and so we don't have to repeat ourselves 100 times, I basically simplified the next one with just saying elef mea ve'echad, 1,101.
Wow. I'm really scared to see what your million looks like.
You'd actually be surprised. It's way simpler than what you're picturing in your head.
Good, because yikes.
Now, once again, we fucked up the first two, and then everything else followed suit afterwards. So 1,000 is elif.
Yep.
From the model we've already followed, can you guess what 2,000 would be?
Stelef?
No.
Oh.
I mean, remember.
Esrim,
100, 200.
Yeah. It'll the only thing I can pull is it'll have the sound at the beginning.
Alpine.
How the fuck was I supposed to get that one?
You weren't. I just wanted to see if you could guess something. So yeah, that's our 2,000. We go from 1,000 elif to 2,000 alpine, and onwards. Once again, we figured it out after the 2,000. We have shloshet alafim.
Holy shit.
Arbat alafim.
Hamesh alafim.
Hameshet alafim.
How about
now we have to move it.
alafim?
Yeah. Sheshet alafim.
Shevet.
Shvat alafim.
I would have been awesome with Chevet because that's also a car. 8 would be Shmet alafim.
Not even close. Shmonat alafim.
Shmonat. Okay, I thought it would have taken out the hash. Okay. Shet alafim.
Very close. Shat alafim.
Okay. And then a whole different thing after that.
Actually, no. Aseret alafim.
Oh. Okay.
And unlike the previous ones where we've really fucked it up, after 10,000, everything just goes very, very smooth. Just add one thing after the regular number, and it should be fine. So we've got 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, and so on and so forth until we finally arrive at 100,000. And beyond that, we have 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, and so on and so forth. Any questions before we wrap up the Hebrew side of things?
That just makes sense.
Cool. So to wrap things up, we have million, which is basically the same as million.
Oh, I'll be damned.
I did tell you it was a lot simpler than you thought it would be.
Wasn't expecting it to be that simple.
Yeah, definitely very simple. Now, here is where, again, for some reason, I still have no idea why. We got million and trillion, but for some reason, the billion in Hebrew is milliard.
Weird.
I don't.
Yes.
What?
So just be different for one, I guess.
Yeah, I don't really get it either. So we got million, milliard, trillion, and of course later it's quadrillion, quintillion.
Wow.
And it's so on and so forth. Anything you like to add about the Hebrew way of pronouncing numbers before we move on to the much more difficult Arabic version?
None other than I'm pretty sure you could dance to the pronunciation of these numbers.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean when we when playing hide and seek, what many people would do is instead of counting to 10, I don't know how long you count play hide and seek on your side. I definitely heard,
but it's usually 10, but there's also house rules, whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, I mean, I do know that in the Ed, Ed, and Eddie episode, which Ed, Ed, and Eddie is Canadian.
Yep.
Yep.
Canadians are weird.
Of course.
So they count to 100. So I figured that's just how everyone does it over there. But over here we count to 10, or alternatively we just go 10, 20, 30, and so on and so forth, using the Hebrew versions, and you can definitely dance to it. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50.
Yeah. No, us, it's like, like I said, it's usually a 10, but if, whoever's playing wants to go higher or whatever, it is what it is.
Depending on how vast of an area you have to hide.
Well, that and like also how long they drown out the distance between numbers, because we don't always, do it literally. Like it's the 1, 2, like,
Yeah, because I think over here it's more widely accepted to just go with the song that I just started.
Yeah, freaking with the length of the names. If you actually did it like I did, we'd be there forever.
Yeah.
All right.
So
what's the other language we're learning?
What?
What's the other language we're learning?
Arabic.
Ooh.
Now, this is where I will be apologizing to everyone watching in advance. I am not fully well versed on the proper pronunciation of these. I do know some of these, but for some of these, I will be screwing things up, and I apologize. I tried to research the proper pronunciation as much as possible. Very difficult considering that Arabic has both the, how should I say it, the common local street way of speaking Arabic, and there's the more learned literature way of speaking Arabic. And in a lot of the cases, they have completely different words for the same things in
So
both the
you're
literature version
describing
and the what?
you're describing slang.
No,
Slang.
no, no. That's not slang. That's two. That's basically two different dialects of the same language.
Well, but you said one was like more down common.
Well,
Like
that
that is
was
slang.
that was my way of representing it. But I mean, there's more spoken.
Okay.
The spoken Arabic as opposed to the more literature Arabic. If that
Okay.
makes any more sense, seeing it like that.
Only if the proper Arabic is sung, just based on how you said that.
Hey, I have a feeling an Arab would be able to explain it a lot better than I did. I mean,
Totally
that's just the way I understand it as a non-Arabic speaking person.
all good.
So once again, we're going back into the zero, and this is another thing that you actually might want to write down as well,
Okay.
because in Arabic, not only do the numbers have a different pronunciation, but they are also written differently on a page. They have a different form and look for every single number.
All right.
If you want to write it down as well.
I'll give it a shot.
Okay, so going back to zero, we have sifr. And you see that little dot in between the English and Arabic version?
Yeah.
That is how the number zero looks like.
That dot.
The number, yeah, that dot is the number zero.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay, moving on to the number one, wahad. And again, that little crooked line in the middle, that's the number one. That is how it looks.
I can see that. And wahad's almost like one.
Almost like ikhad.
That, or if you're trying to say one, but then you get something cold put on you. Wahad.
Or it's a combination of one and ikhad. Wahad.
Yeah.
So we go from wahad to number two, name.
Name?
Name. The T is almost silent.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
wahad, name.
Name. Okay.
And again, that little crooked hook thing in the middle, that is the number two.
Weird.
Number three, talata.
Ta-da-da.
Talata. Yeah. Wahad, name, talata.
Okay.
Okay, now we're moving back into a realm very similar to the Hebrew pronunciation of the number four, arba.
Oh.
And the squiggly line in the middle, that is how the number four looks like. It looks like a flipped and inverted number three, but it's the number four.
Yep. And this one, is this one the emphasis on the R? Because that's what it sounded like.
No, again, it's
Arba.
the emphasis is on the ah at the end. Arba.
Oh, it's because I guess you're rolling your R's. That's why it's confusing me.
Because I'm doing it with an Arabic accent.
Yeah. That's why. That's why. But hey, cool to hear.
And on to the number five, Hamza.
Hamza.
Like Hamish, but Hamza.
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 Okay.
Hamza Tfutfu. And the circle in the middle, that is how the number five looks like.
Did you just call me a Hamza Fufu?
No. I was blessing you. Let's call it that.
Thank you. Mazel tov.
Yeah, that. Bismillah. So,
Bismillah. No, I will not. Sorry, Bohemian Rhapsody.
all right.
Okay, what's 6?
Alhamdulillah. So the number 6, and this is the one I struggled with the most with spelling it in the English version. ستة.
Yeah, if you wrote it in the English version, there probably would be an accent over one of those e's to make that sound.
Yeah, I just don't know how to make it on my keyboard. But it's ستة, and I tried to make it look simpler. It looked like sight because of SITE. So I decided to go with 2 E's. ستة.
Site.
ستة.
Site. Huh. SEATAH. Site.
Yeah. And once again, that the thing that looks like a number 7, that's how the number 6 looks like. It could get very confusing.
So
This
close.
one specifically.
So close.
And speaking of which, we have the number 7, سبعة.
Siba. Okay.
سبعة. Like Shiva, or Shiva, but سبعة.
Siba.
سبعة.
Siba.
سبعة.
Siba.
Or alternatively, Simba.
I was actually just thinking that it's just like you're trying to say Simba, but with it you have a head cold.
And without the M.
Siba.
سبعة.
Siba.
سبعة.
Yeah.
That's the thing about the letter Ain, and the equivalent to that in Arabic is that you really have to force it from the bottom of your throat. سبعة.
Siba.
I mean, if you don't feel the two sides of your throat touching each other, you're doing it wrong. سبعة.
Yeah, nothing over here is pronounced that intense.
Well, I mean, Middle Eastern.
Of course.
On to the number 8. So, all right, yeah, and the V-shaped thing, that is how the number 7 looks like.
The Roman numeral 5. Okay.
I mean, hey, just look at the Arabic number 5.
Yeah, true.
Looks
One
like a
thing
0.
Was the Arabic 0.
Boop. And on to the number 8, Tamanya. Tamanya dobat salahat. Are we clear on Tamanya?
Tamanya.
Tamanya. And
Sounds
again,
sounds like a
the
meal.
upside down V is the number 8.
It honestly sounds like a meal. Tamanya.
I suppose. Maybe because of your accent, it sounds more meal-like. To me,
Maybe.
it sounds more like the Hebrew word octopus, tamnun.
Close.
And on to the number 9, تسعة. And once again, how the number 9 looks like is very similar to the universal number 9.
So tisa.
تسعة. Just like سبعة, we have تسعة.
Tisa.
تسعة. Like Teisha, but تسعة.
Tisa.
تسعة.
Tisa.
Again, if your throat doesn't clench while you're saying it, you're saying it wrong.
Oh, definitely saying it wrong. But I definitely
You
sound
really-
like I'm speaking in an alien race from Star Trek.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it does. That does kind of sound like that.
Yeah.
Again, if your throat doesn't hurt by the end of saying these letters, you've been pronouncing it wrong.
You fail.
You fail. Okay, so now we're on to the number 10s.
Bring it.
And the number 10 is Ashra.
10. Ashra.
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 And here we see a 1 and a 0, which is, of course, a 10.
Yeah. And then so you're probably going to see the same thing for the new numerals, like the Arabic 1 and then the Arabic 2 for 12, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And this is one of those realms where in the Arabic language is very similar to the Hebrew language, or vice versa, depending on who you ask. We have إحد عشر, like إحد عشر, but إحد عشر.
Ouch.
Can we speed through these, or do you want to write these down?
Oh no, yeah, let's speed through them. I actually don't need to write them down if you're not going to quiz me.
Cool. And this one's a bit different from name. It's 12.
12.
Don't do the what are you saying? It's 12.
12.
Yeah, again, the T is almost silent. You almost don't pronounce it. 12.
12.
Yeah, very good.
Okay. Yay.
13.
13.
13.
13.
Again, with the A, clench your throat.
13. Yeah. Which A? The one at the very beginning?
And ashar.
Oh. 13.
13.
13.
Very good. You're getting better at this.
I just have to be a little more aggressive, apparently.
Yeah, this will probably be the hardest one for you to try and pronounce. 14.
14.
Very good. Very, very close. 14.
14.
15.
15.
15.
15.
16.
16.
Again, apologize if I'm pronouncing these wrong. These are the closest I can muster with my non-Arabic speaking self.
You're doing the best you can.
And that's all anyone can hope for.
Exactamundo.
Yeah. 17. 17.
17.
18.
18.
19.
19.
And very similar to the 20s in Hebrew, 20.
20.
No ich. There's 20.
20.
20.
20.
Like, I think the name of the actress, Aishwarya Rai, which is Indian, but the pronunciation of the name is similar enough to the pronunciation of Aishrin.
20.
Aishrin. Like,
20.
like Esrim, but Aishrin. So they basically
with an Ish. 20.
yeah, Irish. So, like in the Hebrew version, the is a soft sheen with an M, with a mem, sorry. And in the Arabic version, it's a hard sheen with a nun. Esrim, Aishrin.
20.
Close enough. We're not going to deduct points from you on that.
Thank you.
Now that we're on to the way that multiples of 10 go with other numbers, the rules of association change, because in Arabic, they don't say 21 or 20 and 1. They flip it. It's 1 and 20.
Oh.
Meaning 21.
21.
21 22 23 24 and so on and so forth.
Yeesh.
So like the digit comes first and comes before the number, because digits are singular, numbers are double digits.
Yeah. Yeesh.
And of course, this extends to all the other multiples of 10 from Aishrin. Again, just like in the Hebrew, they got the first two, they butchered the first two, and they got the shtick from the third one onward. So we got Talatin,
30.
40,
40.
50,
50.
60,
60.
70,
70.
80,
80.
and 90.
90.
And of course, for all these, we got 91, 71, 81, and so on and so forth.
It's basically the rhythm of how you were doing
It
it.
looks like you're rapping.
That's basically what it was. The other one's singing, this one's rapping.
Yeah. So you do you remember what the Hebrew word for 100 is?
Oh shit. That's why I wrote it down. Ayin?
No.
Sorry. That's like I said, that's why I wrote it down. And then I erased it to do the rest.
Oh shit. Mea.
Oh yeah, right. The M's. Yeah, sorry, I don't have a big whiteboard.
Like Kamehameha, but without the ka.
Okay. So Mea.
So
Okay.
very similar to the Hebrew version. The 100 in Arabic is Mia.
Mea.
Mia. Mea and Mia.
And so yeah, and then in Hebrew was Metayin, yeah.
Mataim.
Metayin, sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming in Arabic it would be similar?
You would be correct on that. It's Metaim.
Metayin.
Like methane, but without the H. Metaim.
Metayin.
And once again, after the first two, they got the shtick. Sorry.
Yeah.
Talatnia.
Talatnia.
I think it's supposed to be Talatmia. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, I screwed up. It's Talatmia.
Oh, it's an M instead of an N? Talatnia?
Yeah, my bad. Sorry.
That's all good.
Talatmia.
It's late for you.
And also, for some reason, the N on the keyboard is where the M is, and the M is where the N is.
Weird.
So moving on, we have Arba'mia.
Arba'mia.
Hamsamia.
It sounds almost like insomnia.
It does.
Hamsamnia.
Sitmia.
Sitmia.
Sib'amia.
Siba'mia. That's fucking that sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to say Sitmia.
Get the chopper.
Siba'mia.
I'm gonna rip out your spine. You know, that's another interesting, and that's another good way to tell someone how to pronounce the ah. Just imagine you're Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah.
Sit down.
That's okay.
Put the cookie down.
Yes, sir. Do you want a cookie?
Tamanmia.
Tamanmia.
And of course, Tisamia.
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 And hold on. Yep, I screwed up again. Never mind. Ignore this. So we when we get to the 1,000, it's actually hold on. Alf. Not Alfin. That's 2,000.
So what was it again?
Alf.
Alf.
Like Alf, but Alf.
Yeah, like you're trying to say Alf while barking as a dog. Alf.
Or just saying Alf more aggressively.
Alf.
And 2,000. Alfin.
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 And again, they got this. They got the shtick after the third one. Talat alaf. Arba'a alaf. Hamsa alaf.
And so on and so forth.
And so on and so forth until you get to Ashrat alaf.
Ashrat alaf.
Asharat alaf. Miat alaf. And Malyun. Malyun and Milyar. Milyar. Malyun, Milyar, and the website I found does not specify trillion, but I think we can. I think we've said enough already.
Yeah.
So that is it for both Hebrew and Arabic. And again, apologize if I pronounced some of the Arabic ones wrong. These are the best I can do. I do know the 0 to 10, but after that, I'm a little bit foggy on the proper pronunciation. So I did my best. So do you want to very quickly speed through all of them from the start?
Like me say them?
Yeah, you.
Are you
Let's see how
fucking
much you
crazy?
learn.
Remember,
What?
I raced it all, so that was the whole
But
point.
I'll show it to you on screen so you can try to pronounce it.
Okay.
We
Yes.
already talked about them, so it should be slightly easier for you.
Let's go.
Okay, so
FS. Ehad. Shtaim. Shalosh. Arba. Hamesh. Shish. Sheva. Shmone. Tesha. Esser. Ehad Esser.
had esre.
Esar, yeah, sorry. Ehad Esre. Shtaim Esre. Shlosh Esre. Arba Esre. Hamesh Esre. Shesh Esre. Shva Esre. Shmone Esre. Tisha Esre.
You were closer on the first one.
Shah Esre.
Very good.
Esrim. Shloshim. Arba'im. Hamishim.
Hamishim. Very
Hamishim.
good. Very good. Very good.
Shishim. Shivaim. Shmonim. Tishaim. Me'ah.
Very good. Very good.
Sifr.
Sifr.
Sifr. Wahad. Name.
Name.
Name. Talata. Arba. Hamsa. Saite.
Sitte.
Sitte. Yes. Siba.
Sib'a.
Siba. Sorry, I had to try to pretend to have a cold to do that. Siba. Tamanya. Tisa. Ashra. Aishrin. Talatin. Arba'in. Hamsin. Sitin.
Sittin.
Sitin, right. Sabin. Tamanin. Tisain. Mia.
You actually said this in right. Full marks, Mr. Soda. 10 points to Gryffindor.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Not to sound like a dick, but I would not gonna lie, I would have loved to have heard him try to pronounce some of those.
Ben?
Ben, oh god.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That would have been too funny.
I mean, the idea of hearing his voice again is very tempting, good sir.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Well, let's even though you talked about it last week, let's introduce your topic today.
Yeah, so I am gonna go with probably one of if not the most iconic series in Canadian hockey history. All the way back from 1972, it is the Summit Series. It was 8 games between Canada and Russia, 4 in Canada, 4 in Russia over in the Soviet Union, and it went down to the final game. It not just was it a battle between philosophies, but on the ice, it was literally called the Civil War on Ice. Or the Cold War on Ice. Sorry, not Civil War. The Cold War on Ice.
That'll be something different.
Yeah, no, it got pretty intense. People were purposely injuring people. Like it got violent. It's an interesting story. Like
Okay.
that shot right there is the game-winning goal, and it is one of the most iconic pictures taken in Canadian history. Like you show that to most anybody above a certain age, probably above 15, they'll know what this is.
Okay.
Like it's that iconic over here.
Okay. Cool. Looking
Like-
forward to hearing all
Like
about it.
Canadian fans were getting put in jail for being
Wow.
fans in Russia. Like, yeah.
Just for being fans of the opposing team.
Mm-hmm.
That is a Cold War.
And in one of the games, somebody, a Canadian official didn't like the refereeing, and when he voices disdain, he had to be escorted across the ice into the dressing room for his own safety.
Oof.
Yeah, so that's like I'm saying, that's where it got. So it's a fun story. I've got this mini series that I'm gonna rewatch before we record. Yeah, it's an underrated mini series if anybody's interested. It's called Canada Russia 72.
Very simple.
Yeah.
All right. So since it's your turn next week, how about you start off with the plugs?
All right, so you can find me on my Twitter and Instagram at soda_the_saxman. You can find me on the Northern Entertainment Group here doing stuff with 50, and you can also find me over on the Sodigan Wrestling Network.
Cool. And you can find me on my own YouTube channel, 50 Shades of Geek, where I do weekly reviews of every single Doctor Who episode from 1963 all the way up to 2022, as well as talking even more Doctor Who on this channel on the Greatest Show in the Galaxy every Monday and every Thursday on this show, Found with Flags, with my good friend Soda, as well as all the other wonderful shows or other channels on the wider Benverse at large, like Something to Talk About, Galaxy Geeks, Multiverse of Geekdom, Movie Lovers Unite, The Midnight Cinema, High Time Reviews, and of course In the Front Row, which is still in pictures on the new thing. And that's it, right? That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Both of us. Hope you guys learned a lot today, especially the pronunciation, and very hopefully you all broke your throats trying to pronounce some of these Arabic ones because
Yeah, no kidding.
It is a very fun thing to do, but it's sort of murder on your throat afterwards. Yeah. So always remember, be kind to each other, let your geek flag fly, and remember, we're all doing this for this guy right here. We miss him every single day. So until the next one, everybody, salam alaikum.